Do you blame the Ravens for hesitating to pay Lamar Jackson?
Oh, man, this is going to be nuanced. This is going to be complicated in response. Let me start here. You got to pay Lamar Jackson by production. But I understand the hesitation because of his representation. Basically, they talking about his mama, and I'm going to say it for him. Because Lamar Jackson, he's not in a position right now to probably speak as forthright as I am about this situation. But I think that they're basically saying, look, if your representation, your mother, you, want to come into this room and talk some business, we've already been in this room waiting on you. Now, what I don't like about that statement is, one, I don't know how true that is for a couple of reasons. Think about this. The way you're supposed to handle this in optimal ways is, we're going to handle this negotiation privately. Next question. They didn't do that. And once you don't do that, you've now engaged in the court of public opinion, a competitive battle. Now you're trying to sway me one way or the other. When you start to say, well, you know, Mr. DeCosta, I think it takes two sides to actively put their heads together and get a deal worked out, inferring that one side's already here waiting. You ever had the homie who owed you 100, and then he gonna be like, man, I been had it. Like, well, why didn't you give it to me? Why I gotta put in work for something you owe me? Hey, DeCosta, don't be lying like you just sitting here with $300 million and Lamar ain't just gonna show up with mama talking about where it at. Maybe it ain't $300 million. And maybe that's why he's not actively putting his head in the room, because he's like, dog, don't insult me with the offer. But to try and engage in the court of public opinion warfare to sway us, I think that's a disservice to not only this organization, but it really undermines who Lamar Jackson is. Lamar Jackson helped save these dudes, half of them. John Harbaugh was on the way out. Conversation talk. Hot seat, right? Man, they drafted a quarterback when they already had paid a Super Bowl champion quarterback in Joe Flacco. That lets you know they were desperate at that position. And now, this is how you going to play him? Like you been had it, but he just is not up to coming into that room and getting that money? Like I said, it's complicated. Lamar Jackson, get your money. I get betting on yourself, but go get yours. But at the same time, I don't like how they're already trying to sway this in front of us.
You preach and sell. I don't blame the Ravens, though, y'all. I'm sorry. I can't do it. If you are paying Lamar Jackson, you're paying Lamar Jackson for what he gave you, not what he's going to give you. So if you're going to pay the man,
say that again.
Just understand,
what?
You're paying him for what he gave you. You ain't paying him for what he going to give you.
You doing this?
Here's what we know, Marcellus, Wiley. Lamar Jackson's last 2 seasons have ended in injury. Lamar Jackson has not been the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens of their last snap for the last 2 seasons. 2 seasons ago, Buffalo Bills, he left with a concussion in the playoffs. Last year, his team desperately needed him towards the end of the season, and Lamar Jackson was hurt, and the Ravens thus missed the playoffs. Lamar Jackson has been in the league for 4 years, and 2 of those seasons have ended in injury. If I am paying him, I'm paying him for what he gave me. He saved me when Joe Flacco almost got me fired. I am John Harbaugh. If I am paying him, I'm paying him for what he gave me, not what he's going to give me. So I don't blame the Ravens for hesitating to pay Lamar Jackson, because you know organizations are stingy. And they understand Lamar Jackson may have already given us all the juice from that orange, if you will. Robert Griffin, Michael Vick, Cam Newton, those are the players that come to mind when I think of Lamar Jackson. So I want to think of when were their peaks. Robert Griffin's peak was his first season in the NFL. Wild card, knocked out. Mike Vick, a dude. His peak was his 4th season in the NFL. Collective peak, we're talking about. Team, conference championship game. Cam Newton, a great Superman. His peak collectively, 5th season in the NFL. A Super Bowl, unfortunately, they lost. So, if you are looking at market comps, which is what you always do before you make an offer on something, if you're looking at market comps, those are Lamar Jackson's market comps. And what do the market comps show? I'm seeing real early peaks for those quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson is in year 4, going on year 5. Let Lamar Jackson play out that extension if I'm selfishly the Baltimore Ravens. And even after he plays out that extension, franchise tag, you're it. roughly $35 million. What does that mean in conclusion? If I let him play out that extension and if I tag him, I would have had Lamar Jackson for 6 years at $68 million in totality, roughly $11 million a year. If I couldn't win with Lamar Jackson over the course of 6 years at roughly $11 million a year, why in God's name do I think I'll be able to win with Lamar Jackson over the course of 10 years at roughly $25 million a year? Hint, I won't. I don't blame him.
I love you. That was amazing. I love it because you take me different places. You challenge me upstairs. But that full screen,
what happened?
Can't put Cam up there. Because Cam, 5th year, and Lamar's going into his 5th year. It's unfair. It's unfair. Don't do him
Not
like
a fair
that.
fight.
See, I'm sorry, Mr. DeCosta.
I apologize.
Emmanuel DeCosta now. I'm going to call you the GM.
That's my L.
Boy, y'all love to be pushing Lamar Jackson around to the places where y'all want him to be instead of the place where he is. You know where he is? He has the most wins for any player under the age of 25 at the quarterback position. That's Lamar Jackson. Got a little space, too. I love it. Market comps, you say. Market comps, you say. Market comps I got. I don't remember all this energy, as the kids say. Keep the same energy when they were doing the extensions. I call them early extensions, after year 3 or year 4 in Deshaun Watson's case, Jared Goff's case, Carson Wentz's case. Remember those? Oh, you were in support of all 3 of those. And I know why, because they were ballers. But let me just tell you something. Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, or Deshaun Watson pale in comparison to Lamar Jackson statistically. Wins, losses, most important. Let's start there. We're talking 31 wins, and then the next closest, 25. That's Lamar Jackson. So he deserves his money on wins and losses. Completion percentage, they're all basically the same. Deshaun Watson a tick higher. Passing and rushing touchdowns, it's not even close. Deshaun Watson right there with him. Goff, Wentz, please. Saving the best for last. Interceptions, fewest. You. The guy who couldn't throw. Remember him? 2 minutes at the combine answering 3,000 questions of when you going to switch positions. He's like, I don't get it. I thought I did well in college. I won the Heisman, and then the year after, I played even better. But our team was losing. Oh, I'm sorry. Passer rating. Deshaun Watson highest. Right under him is
Lamar
Jackson. Sorry. And then Goff and Wentz don't even get into the conversation. Told you I'm saving the best for last. He beats them on paper. Then you said, well, what's he going to do? He's been injured 2 of the last 4 years.
Yes, sir.
Do you know that Carson Wentz got paid despite being hurt? Do you know that Deshaun Watson got paid despite being hurt? So why? All I want to know, before I have to get racial up here, you know some implicit bias on this thing, and we're going to get into that later. But seriously, if he beats him on paper and on the field, because that's what the paper is translated, and they've been hurt, and they got paid, what's the problem with paying Lamar Jackson?
I'll tell you exactly what it is, sir.
Anybody?
33% of Lamar Jackson's yardage comes rushing. Lamar Jackson's first full season as a starter, I believe, is 2,700 passing yards and 1,000 rushing yards. Okay. Then again, he gave you, I believe, maybe 3,000 passing yards and 1,000 rushing yards. Lamar Jackson has 1 rushing yard for every 3 passing yards. None of those other quarterbacks do such a thing. What do we know? We know that running is a depreciating asset. The older you get, the worse you get at it. Passing, on the other hand, is at least a slower depreciating asset, right? It takes a little bit longer.
But I get you.
Here's my thought process. I would do Lamar Jackson like the Cowboys did DeMarco Murray. History lesson, y'all.
Ooh, let's go.
DeMarco Murray had 1,800 yards of offense in 2014, if I am not mistaken. Played through a broken thumb, led the league all-purpose yardage. He was a beast. Led the NFL in rushing. What the Cowboys do with him? Okay, DeMarco, we're going to get everything we can out of you.
Yeah.
And now that we know we're tapped, we going to ship you off. Well, I don't even care where you go to. You want to go to Philly? Go ahead. Go to Philly. And DeMarco Murray out the league, I believe, 3 years later. The Cowboys got everything they could out of him. They didn't win with them, didn't win a chip with them, but they led the league in rushing with them. DeMarco Murray led the league in all-purpose yards with them. Cowboys got everything out, and then they got rid of him. Cowboys was just shiesty with it because they didn't even pay DeMarco Murray for what he gave them, let alone what he was or was not going to give them. The Ravens, pay Lamar Jackson if you want to pay Lamar Jackson. Just know you're paying him for what he gave you. You're not necessarily paying him for what he's going to give you. I got to look at this. Lamar Jackson, if he's gotten hurt twice out of his last 4 seasons, what is going to happen going forward? How many hits is he taking, and is he built for this? Because Lamar Jackson takes more hits than any other quarterback in the National Football League. By far, Lamar Jackson, he got hit 800.
More than Joe Burrow?
Somehow. Josh Allen, your boy.
Yeah.
He got hit the second most times, 749. Lamar Jackson got hit 858 since they've been in the league.
Ew.
What's the difference in size? Josh Allen, 6'5", 240. Lamar Jackson, 6'2", 210. Here's the kicker, y'all. In boxing, in MMA, in real combat sports, you get to fight against your weight class. So Josh Allen is 6'5", 240. He would be fighting other people at 6'5", 240. Lamar Jackson is 6'2", 210. He would be fighting other people at 6'2", 210. In the NFL, you don't fight against your weight class. Everybody fights against the same weight class. So the same defenders that are hitting Josh Allen at 240 are the same defenders hitting Lamar Jackson at 210. That is why we're seeing different results of those hits. I know Lamar Jackson hasn't gotten hurt on running plays. That's not what I'm saying. But you know, hits take a toll and take a toll and take a toll. Pay him if you want to. I'm not at all mad at Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's one of my favorite players in the league. Just know you paying him for back pay. You paying him for what he did.
Okay. Take a toll, huh? Well, you know what happens when you pass the toll, huh? You got to pay. And you better pay little smarter. I'm seriously, I'm going to ask you a question. Turn the cameras off, y'all. Don't do it. Turn the lights down. Turn them. Are the best days of Lamar Jackson behind him or in front of him? Are you capping him already? You saying his highlights are behind him, not in front of him? Seriously, on TV.
I think his football best days are behind him. He won a unanimous MVP. Is he going to win another unanimous MVP?
What the hell does that mean? He
His
can win a
best
Super Bowl.
day was a unanimous MVP.
Yeah. Well, he could throw more for passing touchdowns than he did.
For him to see his best day again, he would have to win another unanimous MVP.
I don't care if it's unanimous. I don't care if
I don't think Lamar Jackson will win another. I don't think he'll win another MVP, sir.
Well, way to play the odds. Most players don't win MVP.
You said best day.
Yeah. Best days. That means statistically, can he have another great season?
Another great season, yes. I don't think he will have another season as great per game. Remember, there's another game now. Sal, do you remember what he did? He led the league in passing touchdowns from the pocket.
Thank you.
You think that's going to happen again?
Don't try and make it from the pocket when he leads him from the pocket.
He did.
Moved some out the pocket.
Sure, but the greater thing is he did it from the pocket.
Why is it so great? Because you know what? You got bias. I caught you now. It's so great when Lamar Jackson throws it from the pocket, but it's not
racial.
Did I say race? But now you did, so let's go. Why is it that Lamar Jackson is so surprising when, first of all, he won the Heisman, y'all. This dude ain't sorry.
So did Baker Mayfield.
Great point.
I think Baker won it over Lamar Jackson.
Baker Mayfield ain't sorry. He just lost his way. We'll fix him. We can fix him. Here's the thing. Let's be real.
Talk to me.
You gave me a comp.
Yes, sir.
For Lamar Jackson. And look, it's okay, dog. I know I got biases, too. I just don't expose them as well as you do. You gave me a running back, bro. You gave me a running back comp for Lamar Jackson. That's so sad. That's what I'm talking about. This is what Lamar Jackson suffers through. Here we go. Led the NFL in passing touchdowns. You said it. Unanimous MVP, only second time ever in history. Most perfect passer ratings. Lamar Jackson. What the hell?
Let me ask you a question.
Oh, you want to cut me off? You know I got you going down this hill. Lamar, I got him for you, bro.
No, because what you are doing is what you hate. What you are currently doing is what you hate.
You're winning an argument?
You're placating.
What am I doing? That's not my word.
I'm apologizing.
That is not my word.
I'm apologizing ahead of time for what I got to do to you.
Don't do it. But, you know, I love it.
Placating is one of your words?
No, that's not. You know I hate pandering.
No, but you're placating to an audience.
What audience? Nobody likes Lamar Jackson like you.
Lamar Jackson had 16 touchdowns and 13 interceptions last year before he got hurt.
Yeah.
Do you think, in your expert analytical opinion, based off the trajectory of AFC quarterbacks who currently exist, that Lamar Jackson is going to win a Super Bowl?
Win a Super Bowl?
In your expert opinion, knowing that Joe Burrow, Justin
I can put
Herbert,
him in there. I didn't see Joe Burrow coming. I'm using the same mindset as Joe Burrow.
Okay,
in the Super Bowl?
great.
Be real. Justin Herbert's better than him. Josh Allen's better than him. Patrick Mahomes is better than Joe Burrow. And only Patrick Mahomes won a Super Bowl.
Okay, great.
So don't do that.
You anticipate Lamar Jackson will win a Super Bowl over the course of his career?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Now you realize
he's in the conversation like those other guys are. Yes.
When is he going to win it?
When's Joe Burrow going to win his? When's Josh Allen going to win his?
Here's my problem.
When's Justin Herbert going to win his? When he going to get in the playoffs?
Lamar Jackson's window for greatness,
like
based upon how he plays the game, is not nearly as long as other quarterbacks.
Tell me why.
I will exactly tell you why. Because Lamar Jackson runs the ball more than any other quarterback. And when you run the ball, you take more hits. This is not even any sort of bias. This is statistical data. Lamar Jackson has 108 more hits than the next quarterback.
Right.
You are more likely to get hurt when you get hit.
And he had his first injury this year. I mean, the last game, if they would have advanced against Buffalo,
it would have been the play. Of course,
he would have played. So
but
don't do that.
Lamar Jackson takes more hits than any other quarterback.
Okay.
So if you take more hits than any other quarterback, you're more likely to get injured than any other quarterback. There's a direct correlation between getting hit and getting hurt.
Nah.
And there is a direct correlation, sir.
No, you're right. But the causation is not always just because you're getting hit.
Of course not.
Like, it could be one
Of
random.
course not.
Most guys get hurt at the quarterback position where? In the pocket.
Sure.
At you. A Liberty.
Sure.
As Tom Brady. As Peyton Manning, etc. Here's the thing. I'm not placating, and I don't even care if you coming at me hard because I love this conversation. I love what Lamar Jackson has done, and you're not respecting it.
I am. What he's done.
Yes.
Past tense.
No.
I respect everything that he has done.
What he's done.
What is he going to do?
Hold on. They said this at the Combine. I love you, Lamar Jackson, what you did in college. You won that Heisman, cute. You're a quarterback, cute, but now you're going to do something else, right? Because you're not going to be as good as you were in college. And then he goes, not only wins the Heisman, he wins a unanimous MVP. And now we're at that same crossroads again where people are like, I know what you've done before, Lamar Jackson, in college and your first 3 years in the league, 4 years in the league. But now you're not going to do that again. Bruh, 36 touchdowns led the NFL in passing touchdowns that year.
Sir, yes, sir.
You would bet your life that Lamar Jackson could never get over 36 passing touchdowns?
Sir,
really?
can I?
Don't do that, Acho.
We have to remove our emotions, Sal. You came on this show for 3 months straight, and once a week, I am not exaggerating.
FOL.
You brought me a full screen of Ezekiel Elliott and how he was trending lower and lower each and every year.
Let's go.
Every week for 3 months, Marcellus Wiley came on Speak for Yourself, and he spoke for himself, and he showed me how Zeke was getting worse every year. Well, sir.
Let me go.
Do the same thing for Lamar Jackson, sir.
Let's go.
Because he had 36 touchdowns in 2019. He had 26 touchdowns in 2020. And he had 16 touchdowns last year. In 2019, he had 6 interceptions. And in 2020, he had 9 interceptions. And in 2021, he had 13 interceptions. Stop playing favorites. Lamar Jackson is not MJ. Treat all your children equally. Treat Lamar like you treat Zeke and call it what it is, because unfortunately, statistically speaking, not Emmanuel Acho's opinion. I haven't spoke from my opinion the entirety of this segment. I spoke from facts. Unfortunately, statistically speaking, Lamar Jackson is getting worse. So take your purple and black colored glasses off and see him for who he truly is. A phenomenal player that should be paid for what he did, but you can't pay him for what he's going to do, because unfortunately the trajectory shows that Lamar Jackson is statistically declining. He may be inclining as a human being. He's on The Shop with LeBron James coming out. I love LeBron. Yes, he's on
watching that thing
tomorrow.
I love it.
He might be inclining as a human being.
Okay.
But statistically speaking, he's on the decline.
You know what? I think we've reached the point. I'm about to call my agent. I don't have yet.
Call Lamar's mama.
You say about my mama? Here we go, Acho. We've been working together too long. You know my weaknesses now. I root for 5 teams, and 4 of them paid me when I played. The 5th one, for no reason but Lamar Jackson. I am a Baltimore Ravens fan. You're right. You push the button here. Let me say 2 things, and then I'm done. 1, you know damn well I don't like their offensive coordinator, because this is what he does, man. It happened to Colin Kaepernick, whatever. 2, did Joe Burrow make the Pro Bowl last year? No? You're talking about this Joe Burrow. Okay. Lamar did. Look at your face. Here's the thing. I got to say this. Lamar Jackson, we going to talk about him again? Okay, let me say this. Oh, this is personal. You're going to make me cry up here. I love Lamar Jackson.